What's up, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. I don't know if you've ever asked yourself the question if it was possible to use fat in a cocktail without having to fat wash your spirits. Well, if you have, or if you're just now curious, here's my answer. Yes, it is possible, but you're gonna need two things. First, your fat needs to be unsaturated, otherwise it's gonna solidify when chilled, and since 99% of our cocktails are served cold, that's a problem. On the other hand, unsaturated fats tend to stay liquid or softer at a low temperature, which is exactly what we want. Second, you're gonna need an emulsifier to bind the fat with the other ingredients. That way you're gonna get the flavor of the fat and the texture without the greasy layer separating out. So an egg white, aquafaba, or vegan foamer can lock in the oil into a smooth and stable emulsion. Now, unfortunately, not a lot of fats check both boxes of good flavor and the right fat composition, but one that absolutely does is a good quality, flavorful, extra virgin olive oil. So when you make a cocktail with olive oil and an emulsifier, you get the perfect silky smooth texture and an extra complex layer of savory flavor without having to fat wash your spirits. It's the best of both worlds, it works, it's delicious, and I'm gonna prove it to you with a cocktail I call the Summer Without Prosciutto. So my friends, without further ado, if you are ready, let's go make a cocktail with olive oil. Let's go. Alright, so I think pretty much everything has been said already. We could jump right into the cocktail recipe, but before we do so, I would like to share a little hack. When I make cocktails, plural, with egg whites, I like to pre-batch my egg whites and make them measurable. So what I do is I just crack a couple of eggs and separate the egg whites in a beaker, and then with a milk frother, I whisk lightly the egg whites, which will break the molecules and will make it measurable. So if you want just half an ounce, 3/4 of an ounce, you're gonna be able to do so without any hassle. Next, I add a little bit of crushed ice at the bottom of an insulated container and simply leave my beaker resting on top of the crushed ice. That way, the egg whites are going to stay good even at room temperature. That's it for the little hack. Now let's move on to the recipe. So I'm gonna start in a shaker with 2 ounces of dry gin. Then we're gonna add a generous teaspoon of olive oil, about 4 to 5 pieces of cantaloupe, and then with a muddler, we're gonna crush the fruit to extract all the flavor and the juice. Next, we're gonna add 1 full ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice, half an ounce of mastiha liqueur, which doesn't really have any substitutes, to be honest. It has kind of a sweet, piney flavor profile, a little bit savory. It pairs really nicely with the cantaloupe and the olive oil. So really, it's not really interchangeable, but if you don't have the mastiha liqueur, you can still make something delicious with the other ingredients we have here today. Just bump up a little bit the simple syrup, which is the next ingredient, and you're still gonna make yourself something really good. So we're gonna add half an ounce of simple syrup, or 3/4 of an ounce up to 1 ounce if you're not using the liqueur. Lastly, we're gonna add 3/4 of an ounce of egg white. I'm gonna do a reverse dry shake here, so ice first, but if you prefer a regular dry shake, do as you see fit. So I'm gonna shake for 10 to 15 seconds. I'm gonna strain the cocktail in my shaking tin, dump the ice, and shake it again for another 10 seconds. Now I wanna make sure there's no piece of fruit in my drink, so I'm still gonna fine strain this over ice in a double rocks glass. And for the garnish, I initially used a large cantaloupe slice that I placed in the drink, but I actually really like it also with a fresh mint bouquet. It adds a beautiful aroma. It looks pretty dope. So there you have it, the Summer Without Prosciutto. Cheers. It is fruity and light, the texture is awesome, you don't get any greasy finish. It's really well locked in, the emulsion, and the olive oil adds a beautiful layer of complexity. It's slightly spicy, and it pairs wonderfully with the cantaloupe and the botanicals of the dry gin. It's not the first time I use olive oil in a gin sour, actually. I don't know if you will remember that one, but the Esmeralda, which I shared a long time ago. I'm gonna link the video up here if you wanna watch it. It's an old video, so please don't judge, but the cocktail is great. And initially, I created the Esmeralda Esmeralda with a little bit of olive oil inside. Now, in order to simplify it for the video, I took it out of the equation, but if you want to give it a try again with the olive oil, I guarantee you will love it. So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe before we go, to turn the bell if you want to make sure not to miss the next one. And until then, thank you very much again. Have a great day and see you very soon. Cheers.